Welcome everybody to the Chica Travel Podcast. My name is Lelo B and I'm so happy to have a guest. I'm going to be chatting to Lungile Mashele and we are going to be talking about everything travel. Hello, Lungile.
Hello.
We've been talking on social media for so long. Finally, we get to meet.
Right?
And we connected over travel.
It's the only thing.
So who is Lungile for people who are like tuning in and wondering, what's this going to be about?
So Lungile, a banker, wine connoisseur, audiophile. I love all things absolutely amazing, but more than anything, travel, yeah? Like that gets me going. So I think above all my other accolades, I'm just a traveler, a world traveler.
Oh, I love that. And when did your relationship with travel start?
I think I must have been about in my teens, like 13. First out of South Africa trip, and we went to Vic Falls with my family. And I knew then and there that, you know what, like this is me. The passports, the border control, the new places that you've never seen, things that you've never done. And I'm like, this is definitely it. And I would like to explore more of the world, in this way.
So you were lucky your family actually introduced you to travel and then it grew from there.
Absolutely. And, it started small. Yes, it was just Vic Falls,
Vic Falls.
It was just Vic Falls.
There are levels most to this thing.
Right. And then after that, I'm like, no, I want more. Like I'm craving for, more. But it would only take, I think, another 12 years before I went on my own overseas trip, just solo travel. And I think that's where like the love of travel was truly cemented.
Okay, so tell us about that first solo trip. What inspired it firstly?
Because there's always an inspiration, right?
Yes.
Always. So that was the year Empire State of Mind came to be. New York. Jay-Z, Alicia Keys, massive hit out. And I'm like, I would like to spend New Year's Eve in New York.
In that cold?
In that cold.
Wow.
And I'm not a snow person, nothing of the sort. I hate cold. But I'm like, New Year's Eve in New York sounds just about right. And inspired with that song, I booked and I traveled all the way. And when I got there in the middle of a snowstorm, I was not even prepared for snow.
Wow.
Right?
Wow.
But oh my goodness, what an amazing
Where was the research when you say you were not prepared for snow?
Listen, that was my first trip.
So how did it become a solo trip though? Were there no friends that you could have said, hey, let's go, or family?
So one thing about me and travel, I'm spontaneous. So like I'm saying, it was inspired by a song.
Yes.
Other travel has been inspired by like a movie or you see something and you're like, that's it. Tomorrow morning I book. So I'm very impulsive when it comes to, traveling. Like I don't do like that whole, let me fantasize about a place for, 3 years. No. Tomorrow morning we wake up and we book. We'll figure everything out as we go.
And we're gone.
Precisely. And then we're gone.
Yeah.
And that's it.
So that experience, what was it like? So yes, you got there, you were unprepared for the weather, but beyond that, how was the rest of the experience?
Absolutely beautiful. And I think more than anything, because it was my first trip, solo, an international trip, it was about finding out who I am. And how do I navigate spaces that I do not know, spaces where I'm scared? And what happens when you land in a foreign country and you know no one? And as an introvert, oh my goodness, like all of a sudden you have to start speaking, right? You have to start asking questions. And New York is one of the worst places to be learning how to, excuse me, can you please show me? And this was before WhatsApp. This was before social media, in that sense. It was literally being thrown into this concrete jungle and you need to navigate. And I learned so much about myself. Who am I when I'm not surrounded by the things that I know? And who am I when I'm in awe and I'm bewildered by life? And it's New Year's Eve and I'm going to be on my own and I'm going to be in Times Square and everything is overwhelming. And it's just like, you need to rise to that occasion. And I think that has been how I've navigated my life ever since, rising to each occasion.
Wow. I think whenever I hear stories about, I mean, even just thinking about my stories and in terms of travel, and I think the growth that comes out of that experience, and a lot of people, a lot of women particularly, who think about traveling solo, they will talk about, the safety element. And I'm sure that must have come up when you were planning your trip in terms of, people asking, are you not scared going alone and so on? How did you navigate that whole safety aspect?
So this particular trip, I think, was 16 years ago, and that was my first international trip. And that was, amazing. But since then, I've gone on so many different trips. And safety, people always ask, they're like, aren't you scared? Aren't you worried? Aren't you as a girl from South Africa, from Soweto specifically, you are a bit geared towards things that, happen out there, right? Yeah. So you tend to be more cautious. So there are people that I know that will travel and they'll have like forbidden experiences, and they'll walk down like, unknown paths. And I stick to the tourist sites. Okay. I'm not one for exotic things. I'm not one for strange things. I'm not the person to be carried away like, oh no, like we're going to meet some guys and, join us. And no, that's not me. Especially when you're traveling solo, it's so important to keep your wits about you and to understand that you need to go home at some point. And always, be careful. But also, and this is a key thing, countries where you're expecting things to blow off or to pop off, chances are it's not going to happen. Yeah. And I'm recounting a recent trip to Colombia. And I was convinced that, I was going to be offered cocaine. It was going to be chaos and far from one of the most peaceful, relaxed trips, and also security presence, especially in places that you think are going to be very risky. Top notch. So you can travel, walk around at 2 a.m. There's no problem. But I would say stick to the known paths, especially when you are solo.
Yeah, and I think just be aware. Don't travel with fear, but be aware if you're traveling alone. I'm so jealous of hearing about the Colombia story because I think 2 years ago, I thought about going to Colombia and everybody was like, you're going to get drugs, what?
Nothing is good.
And the reason why I didn't go, it was not that, just because I started Googling for flights and I was like, you have so much money.
Exactly.
That's why I did not go. So hopefully you can come back and tell us a bit more about Colombia.
Yeah.
So what would you say solo travel? Because you've said such beautiful things about it, and I told those things resonate with me because I love all sorts of travel, and I'm an advocate for solo travel because I just think the growth that you get from it is amazing. What does it give you that traveling with other people does not give you?
Well, first things first, I'm such a particular person when I'm traveling. So I enjoy my 5-star places. I enjoy luxe. I will find the Michelin star, restaurant. I will want to walk the entire town. I'm not a shopping person. So you then typically find that when you're traveling with others, you need to negotiate your time. There's, a part where people want to go shopping. There's others who want to just eat like at McDonald's. Now, please don't ever travel with me and tell me about, no, we're going to go to, like a chain store or like a chain restaurant. No, like we're doing street food. So if you're scared of eating street food and you're like, oh, my tummy, girl, please. Like, stay home. Like, we'll figure out like the tummy issues, pack, things for like your tummy. Yeah. But let's explore and let's immerse ourselves like, in this country. And so when you're traveling with, others, you constantly in push and pull over what you want to do. And there are days when I want to do the art galleries and I want to sit by the beach all day drinking beer. Then there are other days when I want to be walking up and down, dancing. Then there are others when I'll be in bed at 8 o'clock. Then there are others where I'll get to my hotel only at 4 a.m.
Yeah. I think that's also what I love about solo travel, that look, if I just want to sleep, I can sleep and it's okay. I don't feel like I've lost something. That whole rush. I paid so much money to be here, so I have to. No. But I guess also it depends on why you are traveling. We travel for different reasons. If you're traveling because you're tired, you really just want to rest, then, the whole seeing everything is not going to be
No, it's not.
Yeah. So now I know you mentioned Colombia.
Yes.
Very jealous. And I think the one trip that I saw you go to where I was like, is when you did Brazil and all of these other places, and I'm so jealous. But I want to ask you, what has been the favorite places that you travel to on your own?
So, without a doubt, South America has my heart. South America and the Caribbean. So, Brazil has my heart for more than one reason.
Yeah.
Then there's Colombia, there's Argentina. I've done your Peru and your Chile, and like the weather, and it's affordable as a South African. It's safe,
and you don't need a visa.
All right, there's no visa. You can just go like now. Then there is the Jamaicas of this world, Cuba. Oh, Cuba. My heart is in Cuba, right? So it's those places. But I think there's a little bit of a strange thing that I enjoy, especially in those areas, because it's not English speaking. It forces me out of my shell. And you're learning a bit of Portuguese. So you're waking up in the morning, you're like, bon dia. And you're like, okay, let me try and navigate.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Yeah. Then you're in a Spanish-speaking country and everything is new. And I think I enjoy traveling in places where I do not stick out, where people let me be and I can navigate myself very easily. And when I need to come into their spaces, I do so in a respectful manner. Places where I thoroughly enjoy, but every now and again you do battle, is like your Southeast Asia. Like you'll be okay and you'll enjoy it and the food and the sightseeing and. But then day 3, day 4, and you realize there are no other Black people.
Yes. You're starting to wonder what's going to happen.
You're like, what's going on? And you're like, there are no other Black people. Yeah. No one looks like me here.
Exactly.
And because of that, you also stick out. So everywhere you go,
they notice you.
They notice you and they look at you and they want pictures and they hold you and they touch you. And those inconspicuous, hidden sort of photos, they come and they stand next to you and they pretend they're just standing. Next thing you know, click. You know what I mean? And it's stuff like that where like it becomes too much and you'll be okay for a couple of days. Then you start feeling like, oh my gosh, like I am in a zoo here and I'm the spectacle. Whereas South America, oh my gosh. The like beaches, the climate, the food, the cocktails, cigars. Okay, so I'm a cigar person. Okay. The cigars, it's laid back, the music. Oh, wow. Like everything just speaks to your soul. And yeah.
The South America travel, was it around what time of the year?
So that was in December, Jan, and I went for my 40th birthday.
On your own?
On my own.
And how many cities did you go to?
Oh gosh, like do I even know? So in Brazil, I was in Rio and I was in Salvador. If you ever find yourself in Brazil, please skip Rio. Like Rio's nice. Okay. Rio's amazing. Salvador? But Salvador.
I'm going there. I saw your pictures and videos from there and I was like, this looks beautiful.
Color, the music, the spectacle. And make sure that you're there over a weekend, and they're preparing for Samba Dome and it's chaos. It's beautiful chaos and you feel home.
Yeah.
And the food and I think if I'm not mistaken, they've got the largest population of African people outside of Africa. Yeah. And you truly just feel so relaxed. Oh. There you are, you're beating on a drum and you've got a caipirinha in hand. You're walking down the street. And the Brazilian boys. The Brazilian boys.
But wait, I wanted to go back to something you said earlier on when you were talking about South America. You said Brazil was special for, what did you say?
For more than one reason.
For more than one reason. You also spoke about, traveling with respect.
Yeah.
And respecting the locals. Please, let's go back there.
Yes.
Fill in the gaps.
Right?
What was special about Brazil? And how do you also, make sure that you are respectful? Because I think also sometimes as travelers, we walk into places as consumers. We are there to consume. Whereas we could actually go in and, observe how things are done and be part of it.
Yeah.
How do you travel respectfully? tell me about the Brazil story, whichever one comes first.
So my thing about being a respectful traveler is immerse yourself in what's happening. Don't be so quick with the camera. Don't be so quick with wanting to form, opinions and trying to dissect things. And I think that social media is so bad for this, where we think in either or. Things are black and white, and you get into a space and you see things and you're now going to a certain mindset, and you're like, oh my gosh, I would never. And if I was home, you're not home. First of all, you're in a different country. They're doing things in a very different way. Yeah. So when you see people observing certain rituals, customs, prayers, the way that they carry themselves, take a step back. Observe what is happening, and if you are intrigued, obviously go forward and ask them, can I participate? Is it okay if I take photos? Is this a safe environment? What do I have to be aware of? And I'm saying this as a person who, a couple of years ago, I went to Benin and I went to Vodun, which is the home of voodoo.
Oh wow. Yeah.
And when you get there, there's just snakes everywhere. And you're tempted to think things and to feel things. And they're like, no, just relax. You can pick up snakes, not one, not two, hundreds of snakes, right? You can pick them up. They won't bother you. They do nothing.
Wow.
And you're in this room and you're just lying down on a concrete floor, and the snakes are just going over you. And now if you want to sit there and be like, oh, now I am a Christian, therefore I cannot be in this environment.
Where are you going?
You know what I mean? Be open to experiences, and you land in India, for instance, and they'll and I forget what it's called, but they'll give you this blessing, and they'll Now, if you feel like, oh my gosh, this goes against every fiber of my being and my religion, please stay home. But understand that they're greeting you in their own spaces, and they want to make you feel, welcome. And this is how they actually do it. So be open to, experiences.
Because I think we do that a lot, where we walk into a space and we expect it to be like South Africa.
Right.
You come into, let's say you go to Lamu, Kenya, where I go with my ladies, and I always tell them, guys, we are not in Joburg.
Yes.
So things are a bit slow.
Exactly.
Pole, as they say.
Thank you.
So when you get there, you can't have those expectations that, fast. No. You have to adapt to what the place is like.
Exactly. So Brazil.
Brazil. Yo, I am going to Brazil. I don't know how and when, but I'm going.
So there's this saying that if a city or a country keeps calling you, your story with that country is unfinished. I don't know how many times I've been to Brazil. And my last trip, which was for my 40th birthday, so I go there.
Oh, so that was not your first trip to
No, that was my first trip. I think it was my fourth or, something.
No wonder you look so comfortable.
Right? I'm like, no, this is, norm. I'm happy in that space. Also, thank goodness for the direct SAA flight, right? Oh. 8 hours.
And then you're there.
Yeah. And then you're done. All right. And there's no visa and. But my story with Brazil was not finished.
Okay.
And so on my way back from my last trip, flight gets cancelled, and I am at the airport, and we're being told, no, we're now going to put you in a hotel. And I'm like, oh, okay, you know what I mean?
I have to go home, but it's okay.
I have to go home, but it's fine. And I'm at the end of my trip, so I'm not really bothered, right? And I meet this guy. And he's a South African, and we start chatting.
He's also supposed to be traveling.
Yes, he's also traveling. We're on the same flight.
Yeah.
And he says, since I live and work in Brazil, this flight is often delayed. So I will, if you don't mind, I'll wake you up in the morning, because it leaves at any random time also, right? If you don't mind, I'll wake you up and then to make sure that you get there. So I'm like, okay, cool. We exchange numbers and we go our separate ways. And the next morning he wakes me up. He's like, no, the flight's only going to leave at 2 p.m. So if you get here at about 11 o'clock, you should be fine. And that was flight SA 223. And that rewrote a whole chapter of my life. And right. And I keep saying that if that flight had never been cancelled,
this meeting
we would never
happened.
have met.
Yes.
And that's the thing about travel also, right? That you just need to keep your options open and just
What a beautiful 40th present.
Right.
That is so cool. Wow, ladies, let's all go to Brazil. That is so beautiful. That is so awesome.
Yes. No, it was absolutely beautiful. And to your point that just be open to anything that happens, as long as you're feeling safe and you're feeling comfortable. Just be open to any random thing that actually happens while you're traveling, because trust me, random things happen when you travel. Flights get cancelled.
Yeah, they do.
So now, like, I could have been at the airports, shouting and panicking and whatnot, and I want to be on the next flight out, even if you fly me via Doha or via, and I'm just like, no.
Yeah, no, and sometimes just let things be. Whatever will be, will.
Okay.
I mean, you are, as long as you are safe, that's okay. So something else. I mean, you gave us a tip there to say when you are flying back, just make sure you are not flying back home and you have to work the next day. Delays might happen.
Exactly.
So have a cushion just in case. Okay. So are there places though that you would not go alone? Where I'm like, I love traveling alone, but if I go there,
No, you know what? If you had asked me a year ago, I would have said India.
Really?
But India was the most beautiful surprise that happened like in 2025.
Sorry, you have to talk about India because in my head, I'm thinking all of the stories that we see on social media around, especially women, not even traveling alone, but even traveling with partners. And now you're saying you went to India alone.
Pleasantly surprised. So I was not alone, thank goodness. But it was with, friends, and what a relaxed trip. The shopping in India, the shopping. Oh my goodness. The food.
Of course.
Again, that respectful travel, right? You're going there, you're open to different experiences, different people, and it's laid back. It's very calm. It's
laid back.
Very laid back.
Wow.
It was a holy experience, if you will. Yes. And I think this is what people often do when they speak about Africa or even South Africa, where people just use one paintbrush for every naturally. If you come to Johannesburg, it's fast paced, it's loud, there's music, and if you go to Kruger, it's very different.
Yes, that's
so exactly. So I was in New Delhi, which is like business capital. So it's very different.
Yeah, I've seen the videos.
If you go to Mumbai.
Yeah. And
so I would say choose your places very carefully and understand the kind of experience that you want to have. I had a wonderful time, to such a point where I'm like, I can actually go back to India again. It really was that incredible India that they try and sell. Yes. And what a beautiful, beautiful country. And the Taj Mahal. And all
I saw pictures of the Taj Mahal and I was like,
amazing things. Even your China, like people will say, oh my gosh, like I could never. No, China, my goodness. Beautiful place, amazing place. Yeah. And now, like there are different tourist attractions around 24-hour spas. And I'm like, you know what? I could fly on a direct flight to Shanghai and spend like 3 nights. One of which will be in those 24-hour spas with like the caviar and the whatnot. Yes. And then you fly back. And I'm like, those are the kinds of experiences that I'm into now. So it no longer has to be like the 10-day trip. Even 3 nights like in Paris is perfectly fine.
Wow. So you travel alone, you also travel with people. Yeah. So how do you decide that this particular trip I want to do alone or I'll do with friends?
So I think it's about the destination and whether I want to immerse myself or not. If I'm thinking of a party place, so let's imagine like your Thailand or even Bali, I would most likely travel with people. But there are places where you just want to get lost. And I'm one of those people, I love getting lost. I love getting into a foreign country and you just go off the grid. And you surface a couple of days later. And those trips, you just like, no, those I need to do solo. Yeah. Places where you're not reporting to anything, where you don't really have like a fixed itinerary and you're coming, you're going, and you're not entirely sure. And you're letting the trip just write its own script. And those are the trips that I prefer just solo, because you're never going to have trips that write scripts when you're traveling with friends.
No. Oh, guys, where are we going for dinner? What time is dinner? No, let's go at 6. No, let's go at 7. Oh, let's go shopping. I mean, there's a time and space for those kind of trips as well. But I'm with you on your reasons for choosing to go alone. So When you are alone, what would you say are the habits or practices that help you just feel grounded, even when you're in a foreign space that's unfamiliar?
So for me, I try and wake up early in the morning. It's very easy when you're traveling, especially solo, to want to replicate what you do at home, which is to lie in, and then you're like, then let me see. Then I'll come back at about 8 p.m. and I'll just, veg in front of the car. No. And I make it a mission that I get up early. And whether I swim, whether I walk around in the promenade, whether I go and see a new site. There are some places that you see, tourist sites, that you go there at 6 a.m. Like the Trevi Fountain. Yeah. They look very different at 6 a.m. than if you were to go like at 2 p.m. when everyone's there and it's sweltering hot, outside. So there are certain places where you're like, you know what, maybe today I'm going to do everything early. Yeah. And I'll be back in my hotel and I'm going to swim. So, what I typically find is that your day needs to have some structure. And it doesn't mean that 8 o'clock I'm waking up, 9 o'clock I'm at breakfast, 10 no, not like that. But you do need to have some kind of structure around your day, otherwise nothing is going to get done. And it's important in your day to have that one thing that you say, today this is that one thing, that one important thing that I want to do or that I want to see. So it can be an art gallery, it can be today it's a picnic at the Eiffel Tower, and everything that happens around that, around getting there and the transport and getting the champagne, getting the cheese, just becomes an amazing little trip, an amazing little day. But that's your big thing for that day. And I think my trips are centered around what's the big thing for that particular day.
I love that because you go through the trip with intention. It's not about just ticking lists, but and sticking to a very fixed, tight schedule. Right. Allow yourself to flow. And if you want to go there in the morning, you'll go in the morning. If you want to go in the evening, you go in the evening. Absolutely. But you will go sometime during the day.
Absolutely.
I love that. So something that I've been personally thinking about in how I travel is, you start off as a content creator, you share your travels, everything. But now I'm into a space where I'm like, I don't want to go and be busy taking content. I want to go and, just be.
Yes.
And this whole thing around, are you there because you want to experience the place, or are you there because you want to be seen? To have to have been at the place.
Right.
Yeah. So how do you, you're not a content creator. No. You just share your travels because it's something you love. Yeah. But how do you, what's your view on that kind of travel? And maybe my advice for me, because I'm battling between the two, when you travel, people expect that there's going to be content, but I'm like, can I just go and have fun?
Right.
For me?
So I've found myself, I think more recently and in the last year, that even when I travel and I'm taking pictures and videos, I don't upload as often as I used to. And I'm not uploading like in real time also. So I'll do it like 2 weeks later. And I don't think that there's any real intent behind that, except for the fact that when I'm there, I'm just fully immersed. And I'll post when I come back, because the posting really is just an add-on. But for me, it's those moments. And I think there's a fine line between being a paid content creator.
Well, they actually paid for your flight to be there so you can post.
Right. And so there you sort of are obliged to post and you're obliged to live in a certain way, and you see the country through like a certain lens. But I think when you are just like myself, you have the luxury of being in a country and letting everything take you by surprise. And I can go to places 10 times, like, Kruger.
Yes.
And every time will be different and all the pictures will be different. Yeah. But you're just like, I'm in a very different place. And I think then you find people who will be like, what's the next hotspot I need to travel to? So, and no shade, but I've seen, like now there's the new wave around ski resorts. And I'm like, I don't like the cold. Yeah. So there's no way that I would travel to a ski resort. I don't like the cold. I don't like such dangerous physical, activity where now you ski. What? No. I like leisure. I like rest. I like islands. I like beaches. I like the sun, cocktails. That's not happening in some of these places. Also, I don't like places that are extremely expensive. So now, like, you get there, you need to watch your little coins, and you can't really spend. Like, you can't drink the way you want to drink, and you can't eat the way you want to eat, and everything is like, oh, okay, grocery store food. Count me out, right? And all because everybody is doing like the ski resorts now. Everybody is doing, and I think you just need to strike a balance between what is me and what is socially acceptable or socially cute. And me, Shem, you will never find me inconveniencing myself.
Because really, if you think about it, it's time away from work and from your life, and it's money as well. So you want to make sure that you're actually doing something that's going to give you some fulfillment, joy, and not just about, what the outside world is doing. And therefore you're just trying to, fit in.
And you get there and you find that this is not me. And there's nothing worse than getting to a country and discovering, oh, what is this now? And I'm not happy. And I often speak to, people, and they'll be like, oh, I wasn't expecting that. And I'm like, well, what did you think? Where did you think you were off to? You know what I mean? And the person's like, no, but I thought. And I'm like, no, if there's one thing about travel is that you take things as they are, and they'll be amazing and they'll be disappointing. But if you think you're going to travel because certain influences went there, boy, do I have news for you.
Yeah, surprise. So, Lungile, you've traveled to so many places. Some I'm hearing for the first time now during this conversation, to so many beautiful places, alone as well. And I'm just thinking about that lady, that woman, that girl that's sitting there saying, I want to travel alone. I really want to travel alone, but I'm so scared and I don't know where to start. What advice do you give to someone in that space?
So where you start is just book a flight. What's the one place you want to go to? Just book a flight and the rest will come through. And I do understand the fear and the anxiety, right? But I would say start small. Start with, I'm going to go to a restaurant on my own and I'm going to have dinner. And it's at home. And you're at home. So in 2-3 hours, you'll be back home. And, so I'm going to go to the cinema. And I am going to do a trip to Cape Town or to Durban, and start small. So before you throw yourself into a whole New York.
I agree.
Right? Start in Cape Town first. And if things don't necessarily work out or you really feel lonely, you can be on the next flight back. But I'd say give yourself space to discover who you are. I have learned so much about myself from solo travel than anything could have taught me. You learn your boundaries very quickly because everybody is going to be pushing something at you. If it's not another cocktail, it's going to be drugs. If it's not that, it's going to be a guy. If it's not that, it's going to be, let's go out and you're meeting strange people and so you learn boundaries very quickly. And you also learn, I'm not a club person, actually. So going out till 3 o'clock in the morning is not my thing. Not you. So I want to be back in my hotel at 10 p.m. And I have little rituals maybe that, I want to do. And I want to maybe take a bath at 8 p.m., be in bed at 9, have some tea, So you learn very quickly who you are. Do you travel with books? Or do you travel with your iPad? Do you watch your shows on your iPad, while you're at the hotel? Or do you sit at the bar and just people watch? And you're like, I wonder what that person is doing. I wonder what's going on there. And so very quickly, you actually learn about who you are and what makes you tick. And I think I am my most authentic self. And I always joke, and I'm like, there's Lungile in South Africa, and then there's Lungile who travels. Those women are two very different people.
Oh my gosh. You sound like you are me.
Because the traveling Lungile, let me tell you, that woman is unstoppable. Yes. She could take over countries, right? She speaks to anyone, adventurous, not scared of anything, and everything is just amazing. The most positive person you'll ever meet, optimistic.
Yes, let's do it.
Every day is a yes day when I'm on holiday. And so it's wonderful to have that side of me come out every now and again.
And you would not have known that side if you never traveled on your own.
Right.
I love it. Lungile, thank you so much. This has been super, super awesome. Do you have any last words that you want to say to African women who love travel or who are scared to travel or who are thinking of traveling or who don't know where to go next? Where are you going next? I should have actually asked you that question. Where are you going to next?
My big thing around travel, right, is you need to have something to look forward to.
Yes.
Like we're here for, 70, 80 years. It's a long time, but it is also a very short time. Okay. So you need to make sure that in that time you have things to look forward to. And you'll be surprised just how quickly time goes. So last year, I was supposed to go to the North Sea Jazz. And because I was in the middle of my PhD and all of a sudden my deadlines became a bit tight, I couldn't make it. And I'm like, you know what, I'll sell my ticket and that's fine. So this year I'm going to the North Sea Jazz, most definitely. Okay. So now I'm
Is that around July? Or?
That's in July. So I think it's the second weekend of July. So the question now is, so where would I like to go? I mean, I've done Europe. You know, so the question is, which place would I like to immerse myself into? And I'm thinking maybe a couple of days in Champagne.
Oh, okay.
Right. So I've never stayed in Champagne. I've just been there, like the Epernay Valley. But now I'm thinking, actually, I can do like 3 or 4 nights. Yeah. And I've also never been to Spain. So I'm like, you know what? It would be nice to combine that trip and do like shopping like in Paris for, 2 nights. Then go to Champagne Valley. Then from there, do like weekends like of jazz in Rotterdam. Then from there, seaside Spain, have an absolutely amazing time. Sure. So I'm working on that trip currently, but in September I'm off to Greece. It will be my first time, and I'm looking forward to Athens and Santorini and Mykonos
and the party.
Look,
save your coins.
I've already booked the beach clubs. Like I have, I've done all the little homework, and it's been so exciting. Just being like, okay, so which restaurants do I want to go to, and which things? So oddly enough, that is going to be more of like an Instagram trip where I'm like, which are the places that I've seen and that I've liked and that I'd like to actually do. And so I'm picking up places that I've seen like on Instagram, and I'm like, we are going to recreate. Thank you.
So you truly are a planner then. You've already booked places for September and stuff?
Look, when it comes to certain places, you need to book like way in advance. Okay. I mean, if it was just a normal trip to like South America, like that you can plan in like a week
and just go
and then fly off. Yeah. But countries that need visas.
I know.
And they've got 3-month-long visa interviews. And you sort of want to combine music and art and beach life. And I'm going in a very busy time also. So one needs to book way in advance. But there are trips where you just decide.
So one last question. You mentioned you have a 9 to 5.
Yes, I do.
You're also studying and doing PhDs and things. So now, one question that I often get a lot is, Haibo, how do you balance 9 to 5 and all the traveling? How do you balance it?
So there's 2 things. One, you make time. So that's the honest truth, right? You make time and you sit with your calendar and you say, how can I optimize days? So I can fly out on a Friday from, in the afternoon, and I'm going to be in the next country like on Saturday morning, and try and use like your direct flights, especially if you don't have, enough time. Combine it to public holidays, so there's a lot of maneuvering which actually happens around that. The other thing with me is that I use travel as an incentive for myself. You sit there and you say, if I do 1, 2, 3, if I finish this book chapter or this thesis chapter, or if I finish this report, Kruger, like this weekend.
Yes.
And those are trips you can decide, like, and I've done this many, many times.
Yeah.
Where you finish something and you're like, you know what? Tomorrow morning, as a reward, I'll be in Pilansberg or I'll be at the Kruger. But, and you book it immediately and you're off.
Wow.
So I love using travel as an incentive to get things done.
Yeah, to keep me going.
Just to keep yourself going.
Like, you do this,
right? And you're like, right, I'm going to reward you. Awesome.
Wow. Thank you so much. Look, I would talk travel any day, all day. So I really, really appreciate the beautiful conversation and for sharing. I'm inspired. Like I need to go to South America. Definitely, I know.
Please.
And I will call you, be like, girl, now I wanna go. Kikupa the itinerary. Plus, like, now you are joining with someone who's But thank you so much, Lungile.
Thank you so much for having me. This was absolutely incredible.
Awesome. Thank you, everybody, for joining us. We hope you enjoyed this conversation and that you picked up a tip or two about where to travel and how to travel with intention. See you again in the next one. Bye.